Urban Meyer crumbled. Nick Saban evolved and continued to dominate. So I think this is going to be that type of year because when all the off the field stuff was coming in about what was going on with Urban at Florida and all that stuff like that, we saw a team that was looked at to be a dynasty, a team that was supposed to be the greatest. Obviously, the parallels are both of those teams won two national titles, recruiting at an exceptional level. But then when all of the when the leaks started to show and everything started to come out, we ended up. Now, I'm not saying Kirby Smart, pull the Urban Meyer and say, "Hey, look, I'm having, health concerns. I got to step away." But I think this is going to be the year that Kirby Smart shows exactly who he is, because the noise the past couple of years has not been what it is as of late.
Right.
Starting kind of with the Jalen Carter situation, and then compounding it even more with the ETN situation, the Ra Tillman situation.
So the
Um,
outside noise is pretty like you think that's going to be effective.
well, like I said, that's what's going to be the
Hmm.
differentiating factor.
Right. Okay. I
Yeah,
get it. I get that. I mean, I understand where you coming from with that, bro.
and then Clemson. I mean, Clemson's essentially. I mean, Clemson doesn't have anything to lose because, like you say, you started um, this topic off with, do they really have a chance?
Yeah.
And most people probably feel like what we
Clemson
saw from
has.
Clemson last year is probably going to be much the same this particular year. So most people probably feel like Georgia is going to just step in and take care of business. The game is in Atlanta, so it's essentially
Hmm.
a home game for the Georgia Bulldogs. They don't have to travel that far. But again, and like I say, and as far as Dabo Swinney, Dabo needs this win. You know, to kind of
Hmm.
speak about Clemson, not so much about Georgia, but they need this type of win, right?
Hmm.
Because
I agree.
again, we're talking about a Dabo Swinney that was the head coach of a Clemson program that was able to beat Alabama at their highest of high, and for them to kind of fall off the cliff, so to speak, like they have over the last couple of years, not necessarily being in the title hunt since Trevor Lawrence left. You know, this is going to be a good gauge of whether or not Clemson is back because again they pull this off, then you know the
Hmm.
conversation is now Clemson is the team to beat in the in the ACC. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
again, like we said about all these games, they should be a good game.
Yeah, it
You know?
should be.
Yeah.
Well, they got they're 13.5 point favorites. Georgia is over Clemson. Now it's hard to say, but I mean, look, to be honest, I would be leaning them for them to cover that 13.5 because that means that Georgia got to beat them by 2 touchdowns. I like what Dabo Sweeney had there and didn't go after a lot of guys in the transfer portal, kept his team together. Some people looking at that and saying maybe he should have went to plug and play some guys, losing the safety, but I think their safeties would just be fine. Diving deep into this team and looking at some of the other coaches because I don't believe that coaching is overrated in college football. I just don't believe that. I don't because I just don't. I'm not going to believe that, especially in this new transfer portal era. It's going to matter a lot more because of the guys moving around so much and being able to coach a guy up and teach him what he needs to know for that particular scheme, offensively or defensively, it's going to matter. So now these coaches are going to start getting a lot more praise, just as NFL coaches do, even if they weren't. You know what I mean? I still think coaching matters. Period. Wherever you go, it matters, bro. It just does. Um, all right, but CJ Spiller being out there at Clemson with the running backs, I think that helps for me. I think that helps them with their running game. What's the guy's name? Luke for the offensive line. Trying to remember a lot of the names over there at Clemson. Help me
Matt
out
Luke.
there.
Matt
Um,
Luke.
Matt Luke, okay. Offensive, that's offensive line guy. There's an offensive coordinator over there too. Some the Garrett Riley guy, right? Quarterback coach and everything with Clay Kubnik. Clay, I think that's their question mark right there, right? So what do you do when you got a little bit with that game? So they gotta I know it's easily said, right? But the game plan in college football is easy now. Excuse me, y'all. Establish a line of scrimmage, run the ball well, um, make smart decisions with the ball, K. I think they got some receivers over there that are slept on. That's the keys for a Clemson win, right? To make smart decisions, establish a line of scrimmage, run the ball well, right? To me, right? Now, going over to Georgia, they got their squad. And if we looking at this team from a whole, with Michigan, and I'll say this again, what Michigan did last year, bringing back all those players for a national title, that is exactly what Georgia did, Marion. Georgia did this year. So, according to that, these guys should play, it should be able to face all adversity with everything in the news that's going on, everything that you talked about. They should be able to handle that well. They should be able to go down in a football game, show resilience, and still come back and play well under that without any distractions. Stay focused on the goal and the task at hand because the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart and they staff over there, those guys, those players on that Georgia Bulldog team under Kirby Smart has only come back to hoist the national championship trophy in their hands. All those guys did not come back and all that production Georgia did that. They didn't come back to go into the playoffs, win a couple games. No, they came back to win it all. And I just think Georgia being a heavy favorite, I think Georgia pulls it off. But I'm gonna be honest. I think Georgia wins the game, but I don't think that they cover the spread, y'all. I don't think that they cover 13 and a half points. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. I'm gonna just say it just flat out, just like that. Stop with all the fancy shit, beat around the bush. I done told y'all everything that I said about the game. Georgia wins the game, but they do not beat out it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be by 2 touchdowns. Touchdown at best against Clemson and Dabo. If that comes down to that, maybe even come down to a field goal. Cuz I think these two style makes fights, right? You know what I'm saying? One of those. You got me?
Oh yeah.
Style make fights and you know what I'm saying? Match up well like that type deal. I think that's what it's going to be, bro. You know. I think that's what it is.
I'm
All
uh
right.
I'm gonna take Clemson.
You got Clemson.
I'm gonna take
Oh,
Clemson.
overall win. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
gonna take
Cool.
Clemson.
I mean, I got Georgia, but like I said, I got Georgia, but like I said, if you going on them lines, I gotta take Clemson to cover. They'll cover, but Georgia will win overall. Yeah, man. Chris Kane for life. What up? What up, man? He said, "What's up, Shad? What's up, trucking?"
What up, Chris Kane?
Uh, All right, so that's what we got right there, man. We about almost done, bro. You look like you about tired, bro. Look like you about tired out there, bro. You good? You good, Shad?
No, just a little bit of weather. No, I'm good.
All right. Yeah, I feel that, man. I see that. I hear it in your
Oh
voice too.
man, Penn State, West Virginia. Man,
Yes. Yes.
I don't even know how you look at this game. I mean, in terms of where do you go with it? Do you go with the defense or do you go with the offense? In West Virginia, Penn State brings the defense. West Virginia's bringing the offense. Um,
But
I
that's the
mean,
thing though, is West
I
Virginia's
don't,
defense, what?
I don't know. I mean, because this is to me, this is a very, very intriguing matchup.
There we go.
Very intriguing.
There
And I
we
gotta
go.
give you a shout out too, because your Big 12 coverage has made me more aware of kind of what's going on in the Big 12. I went back the other day. I looked at some of Garrett Green's um, playmaking. I was I,
You was
I
impressed?
was surprised. I was impressed. I was
Right.
impressed about what he's doing. Again, this will be another year under the belt. We regardless of what defense you play or how well your defense plays, you can never fully stop a quarterback that has the ability to make plays with their feet, right?
Period. He's one of the
Um,
best in the country at that. I must say that. I must say that, bro. And
yeah.
I think people
So
underrate him.
yeah. So it's gonna be an interesting game. Penn State needs this victory. Um, because right now with a new look Big Ten, wins are going to be very, very important. West Virginia is a team that I think, some pundits are looking at to win or the favorite to win the Big 12 this particular year. So, if they're able to get a victory like that on their belt,
Mm-hmm.
and West Virginia goes out and does what some pundits feel like they do,